Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back, chat. We are back with the spoilers. We're back with the spoilers. As promised. One Piece. One Piku. One Piku. Brought from the one and only Young Smokey. He posted the spoilers ASAP on the server. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Smokey, always coming through, posting the spoilers real fast. He be posting them real quick. Yo, did someone shout me out on Twitter? Been getting a few people following your boy. Welcome back, everybody. Time to get into these spoilers. Who's ready? Do I need to give you guys a moment? Do I need to give everyone a moment to tune in? All right. We got the spoilers right here. Let's see. Let's get these spoilers on the road. Let's get this show on the road, guys. Is everyone in? Let me know when you guys are in. Dean's Life, welcome back. God bless you, young king. Dean says he's ready. Who's ready, chat? Who's ready? If you are here, make yourself known. I haven't read the spoilers. I have no clue what's about to go on. Yeah, I just chose a random word, and yeah. Jordan, welcome back. Vincent, welcome back. You guys ready? You guys ready? I gotta see some salutes in the chat. If you guys are ready, you gotta spam salute. Spam the salutes. Where's a Bigna? Get a Bigna in the chat, guys. Where's a Bigna? Where is he? Where is that young man? I want to debate a Bigna. Where is he? Where is Mr. Abigna? You guys ready? Should we start now? Should I just start now, guys? Should we start now or should we wait? Deans. Oh. How'd you do the sevens that tiny? O to the power of 7? Abina with the 400. Thank you so much, brother. God bless. Salute back to you, man. Salute back to you. Salute. Thank you, young king. Abigna, I will always appreciate you, brother. Sean Terry, welcome back. Always will appreciate you as well, young king. Chat, it's good that we could debate without getting butt hurt. Got much love for you guys. Love everybody. Love you all. Should we start? Let's just get started, guys. Chapter 1168, brief spoilers. Chapter 1168, Elbaf's Snow. Ida died in a snowy day. Harold and Hyrule cried for her, and Loki suffered in silence while she was imprisoned. Okay, so is this not the moment where Loki gets arrested? You guys know how, like, apparently Loki got into a big war. There was like a big war in Elbaf. Oh, wait, no, that was because they think Loki stole the fruit. Why was I saying that, like, last chapter was when Loki got arrested and, like, imprisoned? No. Loki was tied to the tree. He got put in chains because of the fruit situation, not because he was fighting and killing people for poisoning Ida. Newman, welcome back, bro. Wait, actually, is that a welcome back? You might actually be new here. Welcome in, bro. God bless. R.I.P. Ida, man. Can we have a moment of silence? Hold on. You know what we got to play? This is in memory, chat, in loving memory of Ida. Oh, shoot. I stopped sharing my screen on accident. Hold on, guys. In loving memory of Ida. Here we go. What's happening? Welcome back, Mooney. God bless. Jordan, welcome back. God bless. Abigna, God bless. R.I.P. Betty. R.I.P. Abigna. I mean, no, Abigna, stay alive for us, please. R.I.P. Ida. You were a real one. Salute. You were a real mother. Ida was a real mom. Can we get some salutes for Ida, chat? She was a much better mom than Estrid. She loved her son, Hyruden. She loved her husband, Harold. She loved her son, Loki. Salute. OG mama. R.I.P. Ida. You didn't deserve this. You did not deserve this, Ida. We will never forget you. We will never forget Ida. R.I.P. Ida. She was a Christian mom. She was that soft, gentle, simple Christian mom. 14 years ago, Shanks was supposed to get the Deep Sea Pact, but he didn't appear. Instead, they decided Harold will be promoted for Deep Sea Pact and became a Knight of God. Yo, Harold, I'm just so disappointed, man. Loved Harold so much, she wasn't upset over Harold being with Estrid. Man, that would break a lot of people's hearts, seeing that and witnessing that, you know? She was a trad queen. Backed out of the stream on accident again. Misclicked. Welcome back, Dude Lion. Is that a welcome back? You might actually be new, but your name seems a little familiar. I wonder if we will see Ida's giant people. Wait, Ida's a giant? I thought Ida was a small woman. Ida's a giant? Oh, yeah, Harold saved her. That wasn't Estrid. That was Ida. She was saved from the circus show on that one island. I remember now. If Loki joins the crew, he'll be part of the club with Sanji, Usopp, Robin, and Nami. Nami. I'm not new. You should know me as G-Bear. Oh, G-Bear. Bro, you got to... Either I have to learn your new username or you got to go back to your old name, man. Guts, welcome in, Young King. God bless, bro. Welcome back. Okay, maybe now would be a good time to... It's not really a big announcement, just a little mini announcement. Now would be a good time to bring this up. I don't want to take too much time explaining it. So, chat, I do want to make some things clear. Chat, I don't have that much time like how I used to in the past when I was doing YouTube full time. My time and my energy now is a bit limited, especially because I might have new content creation endeavors sometime in the future. And it's taking a lot of my time to read and prepare for that. So what I want to pretty much say and explain, chat, is that, again, I don't have that much time and energy to, do the One Piece content. So that's why we're a little inconsistent with the streams. And I just right now in this part of my life, I don't feel the same way about One Piece as I used to years ago. You know, I'm growing as a person. I'm changing as a person. So when, we do the streams and we do the content, a big part of it is your guys' support. I'll never force anyone or guilt trip people or beg for donations or hold you guys hostage or manipulate. I'll never do any dirty work when it comes to your guys' donations, your support, and stuff like that. But I do kind of want to make it known and understood that when you guys, go above and beyond, because that's what it is. When you guys go above and beyond and you super chat, you give memberships, you use the stream elements, that's a great way to help support me to continue doing the streams, because I'm preparing myself to get a new home, have a family, you know? So I got to make sure that my time and energy in life is well spent, that I'm using it wisely, because I have to be a good leader. I have to be a good husband, a good father one day. So hopefully that kind of answers it. When you guys super chat, donate, and do stuff like that, it really means a lot, and it really helps these streams continue, you know? So not trying to say like, oh, you guys better donate. Oy vey, you better donate. But hopefully that just kind of clears things up. Hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from. So yeah, if it ever comes to a time where, you know, there's not too much of an incentive to continue doing the content as often or doing the streams frequently, it might tie into funds, you know? Hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, if you guys need me to clarify anything, feel free to ask. But regardless, I love you guys tremendously. You guys are the greatest people. Yeah, I would really love to be a bit more consistent. You got to find incentives, you know, to be more consistent. All right. Next point. Harold gained more power and immortality. Emu ordered Harold to create the Abyss Circle in Elbaf. Afterwards, Emu ordered him to create a giant army for the government. Chapter ends with Loki and Yarul arriving to the castle. Oh, so the flashback's nearly over. The flashback is nearly over. Dude, Harold. You know no one can defend Harold now, right? Chat, you guys know nobody can defend Harold now, right? He joins the God Knights. He gets the mark. He makes secret deals with the world government. He obeys the Holy Knights. He gets another promotion for the Deep Sea Pact. He sets up an Abyss Circle. He's ordered to create a giant army. Someone probably exposed what he is doing. I think that's why. You guys remember in the very beginning of the flashback, before the flashback started, we saw how there was like 20 of his soldiers, like 20 of the knights in Oris Castle. They were stabbing Harold. Bro, someone leaked that he's working with the devil. Someone leaked it. Oskrib. How do I pronounce that name? OS. I'll call you OS. OS says, I'm defending Harold right now. How are you defending Harold? He's making secret dealings with the Holy Knights. He's quote unquote obeying the Holy Knights. He got the mark. He leveled up the mark. He set up an Abyss pentagram. Well, you know what? It's a bit interesting, guys. It's a bit interesting that at least now we know how the Abyss pentagram got inside of Elbaf. It's understandable. Going to support more once I got something situated with something. It's been a long process. Yo, Jordan, I don't want you or anyone to feel pressured. I don't want this to be a thing where it's like, oh, you guys better donate, hold you guys hostage. Chat, nothing like that. Hopefully you guys didn't take it that way. I don't think you guys took it that way. Yeah, it's just things right now are very difficult, you know? I'm glad you guys are so respectful and understanding. I didn't expect any less. Bro got the mark of the beast with the sea devil. Yeah, exactly. Emu is literally the devil of the world. And what are they saying about the mark? What did they say in 1167 about this Abyss pentagram mark thing? They said that it has you bound to the true God. So apparently the Gorsei believe, or at least tell people, that Emu is the true God. Maybe they don't explicitly say Emu, but we know that Emu's intrinsically tied in with the mark. That's why people are getting demon possessed, because they most likely have the mark. Or at least they get caught in the Domi Reversi. Also, isn't it literally a pentagram on the floor? We have 2 more chapters this year. Wait, 2 more chapters this year? How many breaks are we having? Isn't there like a lot more? Wait, no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 more weeks this month. Oh, man. False kings ruling from imaginary thrones. Yeah, exactly. Does Harold know about God Valley genocide? That's a good question. He might not. See, and that was one of the reasons that I was saying that, you know, Harold just has good intentions. But look at how far Harold is going into this, bro. Harold is doing a lot for the world government. He's getting completely played, man. And like, don't get me wrong, like, he doesn't want his people hated anymore. He doesn't want the giants, you know, condemned and frowned upon and stuff like that. He acknowledges that there's a lot of bad giants. He just wants his country and his people to be respected and loved. But when we see him getting the Abyss Pentagram or the Abyss Mark, the Deep Sea Pact, whatever it's called, and we see him setting up an Abyss Pentagram and Elbaf and all these things, is just not looking good, bro. It's just showing that he is a tool of the devil. I mean, if you think about it, if Emu's the devil, chat, then that necessarily makes Harold a tool of the devil. And, you know, someone might argue, oh, well, he shouldn't really be a tool of the devil. Like, that's not really fair, Eddie. That's not really fair. Like, Harold has good intentions. Yeah, but, brother, you got to understand that whether he understands and knows that he's a tool of the devil or not, he's still a tool of the devil. Like, for an example, you could have a son, right? He's like, I don't know. He's like, let's say you have a son. He's like 2 weeks old. Your son isn't going to understand what the difference between a boy or a girl is. Does that make him any less of a son? Does that make him any less of a boy? Oh, you know what's funny? This community's based. I don't think anyone here is going to try to argue some rainbow crap, some Skittles crap. Well, you shouldn't really, you shouldn't be calling your child the boy unless your child tells you that they're a boy or a girl. Yo, get out of here with that mental illness. No, but I think you guys see my point, though. In all seriousness, I think you guys see my point. Harold might not even know he's necessarily a tool of the devil, but I think Harold is a tool of the devil because Emu is the devil and Emu is using Harold, right? And Elbaf is going through horrible things right now because of Harold. Because wait a second, how did the Holy Knights get into Elbaf in present time? Oh, yeah, that's right. They used the Abyss Pentagram. Ah. Some of those liberals think differently. Hell no, I was brainwashed by that stuff as if it was okay, it's bad. Yeah, you know, many years ago, I was cool with this stuff, but now I realize it's completely demented. And chat, I don't really want to go on a whole rant about that. I think most of you guys kind of understand my argumentation and my stance and stuff like that. But Stalin called people like Harold useful idiots. Yeah, that's another good way of describing them. Shout out to Zawarudo. Harold is an example of overcorrection being bad. Shout out to Abigna. I like that as well. Because you know what? I think very often in life, people overcorrect. I think that's actually overcorrection is one of the reasons we suffer. Overcorrection is one of the reasons the world is suffering. Anyone could come to Elbaf. It's not closed off like Wano. Yeah, but there's a difference between the Holy Knights sailing on a ship to Elbaf versus just teleporting inside of the castle. Teleporting back and forth. Harold probably realized later on that Emu wants giants to be his slave army. I don't know, man. He might have not even realized that. Again, we saw... Does anyone know what chapter it is? Someone please. I will shout out the person that can tell me. What chapter was it when we see Harold getting... Harold's like a silhouette in the castle. and he's getting stabbed by a bunch of his knights, by a bunch of his soldiers. Harold's being stabbed. He doesn't have the horns. He doesn't have the wings. But what's my point? My point is, I think that shows it wasn't even Harold. I think that shows it was it was like his people that figured out Harold was compromised. Or maybe Harold was like, hey, you know what? He tells his people, Harold tells his people, hey, kill me. All you guys, stab me in my heart, kill me. I've been compromised. The devil took over me. I made a horrible decision. And then Harold has his people stab him. Maybe it's something like that, but I don't know. 11:52, a bad day, says Vincent. 11:52 says Jordan. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Jordan. God bless you both. Let me check. That's probably the chapter. Oh, yep. This is going to be the chapter. Yep. So 11:52. Harold is being stabbed by like 20 of his knights. Why are they killing him? None of these guys have the horns, because that's the helmet, right? They don't have the horns. They don't have the wings. Harold doesn't have the horns. Harold doesn't have the wings. So did other people find out that he made a deal with the world government? That might be what it is. It might not be that Harold told them, like, hey, kill me. I'm compromised. Like, that seems a little weird. Like, I guess that could occur. It's not impossible, but that would definitely take a very specific narrative to accomplish. When will this flashback end? I'm tired of this. You really don't like it? What's wrong with this flashback? I think this is one of the better flashbacks in One Piece. It looks like it's about to end. Read the spoilers. Chapter ends with Loki and Ya Rule appearing to the castle. We're very close to it being over. Because remember, what did this flashback start with? Can you tell me? Ricardo, can you tell me how this flashback began? What started this flashback? Nobody else in chat answer for him. I want to see Ricardo answer this. Ricardo, can you tell me why this flashback occurred in the first place? Why are we in this flashback? Is it just a flashback out of the blue? Or did something trigger this flashback? Flashback is great, but so much hype is going on in current times. Bro, watching Zebek and Roger and Garp fight, you don't think that was hype? The flashback's goated. Oda pacing, that's why I'm tired. Look, bro, why was this flashback triggered? Yup, Harold set up his own death, wanted his own guards to kill him. He wants to die, but is immortal. Reminds me of Kaido wanting to die. Oh! Yo, shout out to Jordan. I didn't even think about that. Jordan, that's really cool. Shout out to Jordan, man. Yo, Jordan is one of the better conspiracy theorists in this community. Shout out to our conspiracy theorist, Jordan. Shamrock is going to steal the Nika fruit or Nika Domo fruit from Elbaf, and Shanks is going to steal it from who's who. Don't we know that Shanks was chasing the Cypher Pole ship, and that's how he got the fruit? You think Shamrock beat him to the punch, and then who's who got it, and then Shanks got it? That seems weird. Flashback was triggered because Hybruden wanted to know about Harold from Loki, right? Yeah, exactly. So what do we see first? We saw 1152 Harold being stabbed by his knights. And now what do we see here? Chapter ends with Loki and Ya Rule entering into the castle. So that lets us know that the flashback is very near to completion. Or if anything, the flashback will go on a little bit after the death of Harold. But I think it's going to wrap up here soon. But this whole flashback went above and beyond explaining the story of Harold, why he's killed, what happened with Loki. Like, did Loki kill Harold? Hopefully that clears things up. I think it's good that we got the God Valley stuff. I think if Oda didn't go through the God Valley stuff right now, people would be very annoyed. Very annoyed. How long have people been begging for God Valley? Literally since 967, 968, people have been begging for God Valley. Bro, we need God Valley. We need God Valley. So then Oda gives us breadcrumbs for hundreds of chapters, breadcrumbs of God Valley. Even then, before this flashback started, people were still begging for God Valley. They were saying, I want God Valley. I want God Valley. And what did we tell them? We told them, what you're asking for technically is the fight of God Valley. Because we already knew, prior to this flashback, we already knew that there was a hunting game competition. We know that we know that Garling was on the island. We know Kuma and Ivankov and all those guys, they were on the island, what happened. We know this stuff from the Egghead Island arc. So even right before this flashback, people were still begging for God Valley, but the only thing that Oda can add is the big battle, which is exactly what we got in this flashback. So I feel like if you take that away from the flashback, people wouldn't enjoy this flashback nearly as much. No, Elbaf had the Nika fruit. Shamrock steals the fruit and gives it to Cypher Pole, and Shanks steals it from who is a Cypher Pole agent. But why would Shamrock give it to Cypher Pole? Like, I don't get that. Like, it seems like Cypher Pole had the fruit, and then Shanks was sailing, right? He's sailing on the ship, and he steals it from them. Why would Shamrock take the fruit, and then he's like, here, who's who? I'm not going to teleport back to Marijoa. I'm actually just going to give it to Who's Who, and you guys can sail all the way to Marijoa with the fruit. Like, don't you think that's a little weird? Like, if they have the Abyss Pentagram in Elbaf, Shamrock goes into the Abyss Pentagram. He's now in Elbaf, and he takes the fruit. Why wouldn't he just teleport back to Marijoa? Why would he be like, I could have this fruit and teleport back to Marijoa, but I don't really feel like doing that. Here, Who's Who, take like a month. I want you to take a month sailing this fruit back to Marijoa. Like, don't you think that's a little strange? Wouldn't it have made a lot more sense if that's true, right? That Shamrock teleports with the fruit. Because people can teleport with swords, right? People can teleport with their outfits. People can teleport with hats. People can teleport with guns. All types of stuff. It seems like this arbitrary rule to say like, oh, well, if you're holding a devil fruit, it won't teleport with you. Like, that's such a random, like, arbitrary rule, don't you think? Like, I can hold the sword and teleport with it, but I can't hold the fruit and teleport with it. Why? Like, that's just random. Like, why devil fruits? See, so now you would have to actually explain why. Why can't you teleport with devil fruits? And even with your explanation, how do I know that's true? So, yes, that could be true. Yes, maybe people can't teleport with devil fruits. Crocox, you could be 100% correct. But can you demonstrate for us right now how we know that to be true? And like even beyond that, it just seems like it's an arbitrary rule. Seems like it's Loki who steals the fruit. As you can see, what seems to be Ragnir next to the legendary devil fruit chest. Why did Loki take it? Don't know. Maybe Hera told him to. So that's another thing I want to add. We know that the people of Elbaf are accusing Loki of taking a devil fruit. Let me say that one more time. We know that the people of Elbaf are accusing Loki of taking the devil fruit. But wait a second. Wasn't there a big battle of Loki and Elbaf? And they said that, they needed all the giants to come together to restrain Loki. That's why he's tied to the tree. And during that fight, Shanks had to help Elbaf to take down Loki and put him in sea stone chains around the tree. Wait, so a whole bunch of giants in Elbaf who know what devil fruits are, and Shanks who knows the devil fruits are. Remember, he literally fed a fruit to Buggy. All these people, they know what devil fruits are, and they believe that Loki has a devil fruit, but like he doesn't have a devil fruit. See, like what seems most obvious to me is that the fruit of Elbaf was eaten by Loki. Me and King J, we've been saying this for a very, very long time now. There is a devil fruit on Elbaf. that fruit was eaten by Loki. I don't think all the giants of Elbaf and Shanks, I don't think that they all just hallucinated that Loki has a devil fruit. I think Loki demonstrated that he has a devil fruit. That's why they are saying he has a devil fruit. I don't think they're looking at Loki using hockey and they're like, oh, shoot, look at his devil fruit. I think those guys know what hockey is. I don't think these powers from Loki that's causing them to believe it's devil fruit is devil fruit. I mean, is hockey. I think it's clearly a devil fruit. So what does that tell us about the Nika fruit? Because remember, Zebek said, there's 2 fruits I need. One of them is on Elbaf. Don't you think it'd be so strange if both of them are on Elbaf and he's like, yeah, there's 2 fruits I need and one of them's on Elbaf? Why would he not say both of them are on Elbaf? Don't you guys see like a little bit of a discrepancy there? Let me see that one more time. If you believe that the Nika fruit was on Elbaf and you concede that Loki ate a fruit, you're then saying that Elbaf had 2 devil fruits, right? But when we examine the discussions, when we examine what Harold has said or what Zebek said, he said there's 2 devil fruits I need. One of them's on Elbaf. Why wouldn't he say both of them are on Elbaf? It's like he's implying that, no, wait, one's on Elbaf and one's not. So if one's on Elbaf and we know Loki is accused of being eaten of Loki's accused of eating a devil fruit, and the other one is not on Elbaf, and we know that Luffy ate the Nika fruit, Loki obviously didn't, then wouldn't that mean that the Nika fruit was not on Elbaf? Yeah, the Elbaf devil fruit is the Nika fruit, unless there's 2 Nika fruits, which I doubt, as Zebek is unaware of Nika and implied only a royal bloodline giant can use the Elbaf fruit is not the Nika fruit. Yeah, I was about to say, bro. You had to correct yourself. You had to say is not the Nika fruit. Because you originally said is the Nika fruit. You had a typo. I was going to say, like, it seems very unlikely that the Nika fruit is the one on Elbaf. And guys, if you disagree, I want someone here to write out a syllogism. I can write out a syllogism if you guys want. There are 2 fruits on Elbaf. There are 2 fruits that Zebek wants. He says only one is on Elbaf. He only makes point of one being on Elbaf. But wait a second. Loki's accused by many people of eating a devil fruit on Elbaf. We know that there's 1 Nika fruit. Or at least we could presume there's 1 Nika fruit. I don't think anyone would argue there's 2 Nika fruits. Okay, well, that 1 Nika fruit was eaten by Luffy. Wait, but Loki has a fruit. And it's probably the one from Elbaf. So wouldn't that mean that 2 fruits, 1 is Loki's from Elbaf, the second is Nika, not from Elbaf? I want to see if anyone disagrees with this. Write out a syllogism. Mr. Captain West, welcome back, brother. God bless, man. Voice of all things from Harold to Loki, telling him he was right about the world government, and he's the only one that could save Elbaf. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. But would you say that occurs after Harold is stabbed, or are you saying that occurs before Elbaf is, or before Harold is stabbed? Maybe that assumed it was a devil fruit, but it's actually his hammer's fruit. But yeah, I agree, he has one. Yeah, so it could be the hammer's. Maybe the hammer has the devil fruit. And I know you're not arguing this, Captain West. I'm just kind of making this a point. People might take what you just said and use it as a means of moving the goalpost. They might say, "Oh well, look, maybe Loki didn't eat the fruit. Maybe he put the fruit in the weapon, right? Like how in Wano there was a teapot that was fed a raccoon devil fruit. So there's a raccoon teapot, right? That would just be moving the goalpost because that still doesn't solve this. I don't know. It's almost a dilemma. This situation, this circumstance. 2 devil fruits Zebek wants. He makes a point to say only 1 is on Elbaf. You see? So even if the fruit was fed to Loki's hammer, that doesn't really change the certitude of only one of those fruits being on Elbaf, let alone the one not the fruit that's not the Nika fruit. You know? But I am excited to see Loki use a devil fruit. Whether he ate the fruit himself or the fruit is in the hammer, I don't really care, bro. I think it's going to be very cool to see. I'm very excited. I don't think Oda's going to show us like a boring devil fruit. I think it's going to be something that's actually interesting. Loki is a devil fruit. He was cuffed with sea prism. Yeah, so that's a pretty good argument to say that Loki has devil fruit. I actually overlooked that right now as we're discussing. Loki is a giant wolf. That'd actually be pretty cool. Like make him like a werewolf. A werewolf with a wait, would he be a werewolf that stands on like his hind legs and he swings a hammer? He wouldn't be on all fours, or I guess he could switch to all fours. King J, God bless. Welcome back, bro. Zebek saying that Elbaf's fruit can be used to its full potential can only be Herald or only by Herald and not himself proves that it's Loki's fruit and not Nika. Nika's fruit was stolen from Who's ship and not Elbaf. So I agree with your argument. To make your argument tighter, right? To make it a more tight argument, we would want to point out that let's say I mean, like I agree with this, right? The Nika fruit is being stolen from Who's ship, but there's no telling or there's no saying that it wasn't moved from Elbaf to Who's ship. You see him? Someone could say, well, how do we not know that they didn't move the Nika fruit to Elbaf to Who's ship? How do I not know that it wasn't on Elbaf and they put it on Who's ship? You see? So saying the Nika fruit was stolen from Who's ship and not Elbaf isn't as tight as it could be. Even though I agree with you, I 100% agree with you. So maybe I think a better way of framing it could be like Zebek is insinuating only one fruit is on Elbaf. He needs two fruits. One is on Elbaf. And we can presume that fruit that's on Elbaf was eaten by Loki due to everyone witnessing a battle including him, claiming that he ate a devil fruit. So then that presumes that Loki ate the one fruit that's on Elbaf. Okay, so we got that down. Could we also presume that there's one Nika fruit, not two? Because I think most people would say yes. Maybe there's argumentation for it, but if you're willing to concede and say, okay, yes, there's only one Nika fruit, then that means that the fruit on Elbaf that Loki ate is not the Nika fruit. So when we talk about Who's ship having the Nika fruit sailing away from wherever it came from and being chased down by Shanks, there's no telling where that fruit originated from. You see, so I think framing it that way is, I think that's a bit more watertight. But yeah, King J, I totally agree with you anyways. You and I have been saying this for a long time. Axram says there could easily be two. Chat, do we agree that there is two devil fruits or two Nika fruits? Who here believes that there's two Nika fruits? This one legendary Nika fruit that is going to save and unite the world. That is a sign of Joy Boy. That is from the one true God, Nika. No, well, actually, there's two of them. Do we believe this? Do we believe that there's two Nika fruits? The main character has one, and then like a side character, Loki, has the other one? Not even like the main antagonist, Emu, or like the main pirate antagonist, Blackbeard. No, actually, it's Loki. Yo, you might as well just give Loki his own spinoff series. Maybe a fruit that mimics the Nika rubber ability. I don't know. What if the devil fruit Loki has is like a partner to Nika, as in its powers are similar, like a god wolf that runs with the sun. So it could be a fruit that works well with the Nika fruit. I have no problem with that. I don't see anything within the narrative that would be a problem. My thing is no. We're arguing that there's two Nika fruits. That's not the same thing as saying, oh well, maybe he has a fruit that has like some rubber attributes to it, or like, oh well, maybe he has a fruit that works really well when someone else nearby him is using the Nika fruit. That's not the same thing. There's 3 Nika fruits. The third one is meant for Usopp. All right, dude. All right, bro. Loki's devil fruit will be the Zoan type Fenrir. Emu is currently in Elbaf. Zebek thought that if he eats a specific fruit and Harold eats the other, they could take down Emu. This certainly leading to Loki and Luffy fighting Emu together. That'd be pretty sick. Zebek thought that if he eats a specific fruit and Harold eats the other, they could take down Emu. King J, do we have dialogue of Zebek saying that he wants to eat the other? I'm not against that. I just want to make sure we have all of our bases covered. Is there a panel? I know he in regards to the fruit that's on Elbaf, right? Or was on Elbaf. I know that Zebek wanted Harold to have it, Harold to eat it, because he believed that Harold would bring the fruit to its ultimate conclusion. Harold would make best use of that fruit. But do we know of Zebek saying that or implying that he wants the other one? I'll DM the panel. God bless. Thank you, bro. Yes, 2 fruits, sort of like Aokiji and Monet. One is superior, one is a lesser. I don't think there are literally 2. Or like Ace and Akainu. All right, chat. King J's going to show us the panel here when he finds it. Shout out to King J. Nika the creator, Luffy and Nika the destroyer, Loki. Okay, so I think I can't remember what chapter or what panel it was. Chat, look, when we have this interpretation of Nika being the creator, but then also a destroyer, chat, we need to understand thank you, King J, there are different interpretations of Nika that doesn't necessarily mean that Nika has to be 2 different people, or there's 2 different Nikas, or like 2 different versions. If I'm not mistaken, literally at the same time that they were explaining, it was in the earlier in this arc, right? Was it 1138 when they were explaining the mural in the 3 worlds of One Piece? They said that there's different interpretations. Let me pull it up. I think, what was the chapter? Okay, I pulled it up. Chapter 1138. Okay. The Owl Library. So this is the Harley. Okay, so they're talking about the Harley text, which, by the way, in real life, there is something called the Harley text. It's it's like I think it's a medieval manuscript of the Bible. Go look it up, the Harley text. So they say this is the Harley. Sure is. Wow, it's huge. All the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on this original text. You see? Since there are so many interpretations of it, and it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in has a different personality depending on who tells the story. You see? Do you get it? So when we talk about like, oh, well, Luffy's going to have the creator version of Nika, and then like Loki's going to have like the destroyer version. Like, I think we're dividing Nika when we don't really need to. Wouldn't you agree? It's like we're dividing the one person. I don't see like the reason for that. Like I'll give you a perfect example, right? Everyone knows Luffy is Luffy. All right? But wait a second. You could ask one person in Dressrosa, hey, who is Luffy to you? What did he do in Dressrosa? One guy in Dressrosa will say, well, look at the country. When Luffy fought Doflamingo, all the houses were destroyed. Everything was turned to rubble. Everything was destroyed. Luffy's a destroyer. But then you go ask another guy in Dressrosa, hey, who is Luffy to you? What would they say? Oh, well, we were actually in shackles because of Doflamingo. He had us living in an illusion. He had us brainwashed. Luffy liberated us. So do you see? Look, these guys, they're talking about the same person, but they're still describing him radically different, which, by the way, both are true. Because look, when Luffy fought Doflamingo, guys, go to the end of the Dressrosa arc when Luffy defeats Doflamingo. Oda in the manga pans out. He pans the camera out. Bro, the whole island of Dressrosa is destroyed. So let's go back to 1138 again. What does 1138 say? So this is the Harley. Sure is. All the various myths and legends of Elbaf are based on this original text. So, since there are so many interpretations of it, and it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in has a different personality depending on who tells the story. You see, they're all worshiping the same sun god, but there's a different interpretation depending on who's telling the story. Does that mean that like Luffy has to have the creator version of Nika fruit and Loki has the destroyer version of it? I don't see why. By the way, like, couldn't Luffy like use his fruit to destroy things? Luffy right now with the Nika fruit could destroy the world if he wanted to. Luffy could go to Marijoa and use the Nika fruit and destroy everything. Does Luffy need another version of his fruit in order to destroy things? Why? I don't. How does that follow? All right, let's continue chat with what King JS sent us. To sum it all, there's 2 devil fruits out there that I want. One of them is most likely found on Elbaf, and its power will only be truly unlocked if Harold eats it. Okay, so he's saying that one is destined for Harold. I need Harold to have one. Notice within this panel, he's not necessarily saying if he needs the other. Can we presume that he does? Maybe. Because here's the interesting thing, chat. The only person that Zebek really cared about teaming up with is Harold. We didn't see Zebek try to team up with an admiral or team up with, I don't know, Kaido, team up with specifically Captain John, like Garp, Roger. The only person Zebek really cared about was Harold. So you would think like if he wanted the other fruit to go to another person, why did Oda never show us a fascination of Zebek towards this other person? The only fascination we've seen from Zebek towards other people is Zebek to Harold. So maybe we could presume that the other one, the other fruit, Zebek wanted it. And maybe the whole thing going down at God Valley prevented Zebek from chasing that other fruit. The Elbaf fruit is implied to be necessary to control and awaken Galila giants. Hey, Rox, I think you're Nika. Nika, the warrior of liberation who will destroy the world while laughing. Which, by the way, back to the previous subject. Look at what they're saying here. The warrior of liberation. Okay, so they're calling him a liberator. Who will destroy the world while laughing. Oh, so they're calling him a destroyer. Wait, so he's a liberating destroyer? Why is he not 2 different people? You see, because it's one person. It depends on who's describing him. Do you think we'll ever see more of Zebek? I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think it's kind of unlikely. I think Oda's kind of covering all the bases with Zebek. If we do, maybe it's somehow more context regarding Blackbeard's upbringing, Blackbeard's lineage. Destroy it. I'm aiming to become king of the world. Besides, if anyone's got that sort of power, it's Herald. Listen up, Loki. Somewhere out there, the Galila are slumbering. They're an outrageous band of voyagers. And the only one who can put them back into play is your pops. I'm going to continue to rally the world. Okay, so, I mean, how I would make this argument is that there's two fruits Zebek wants. One's on Elbaf, one he's not saying where it's located. Notice how he himself only talks about having one person on his team. He only wants to work with one person. Who's his person? Harold. Okay, well, he wants Harold to eat one fruit, not two fruits. So if Zebek had a second person that he wants to eat the fruit, wouldn't he have, or at least Oda, wouldn't they have made it known, hey, I need this other guy to work with me so he can eat this other fruit? Instead, Oda never illustrates that. So maybe we could presume that the second fruit, he wanted to eat it. Interesting thing, though. Again, we got to go back to this. Loki saying, hey, Rox, I think you're Nika. And what does Harold say? Or I'm sorry, Zebek say, the warrior of liberation who will destroy the world while laughing. Destroy it. I'm aiming to become king of the world. Besides, if anyone's got that sort of power, it's Harold. So see, he's shifting like this idea of Nika to Harold. This is showing that Zebek's will lining up with the will of Nika, because we know that the Nika fruit's a Zoan, right? Remember that whole thing in 1144 or 1044 about Zoans having a will of its own, a mind of its own? We can see here Zebek himself is alienating himself from the Nika fruit, or at least from Nika. So maybe this is part of the reason Zebek never ended up getting the fruit. So I think this, I agree with what Jay is saying, what King Jay is saying. There's two fruits. One is on Elbaf, one isn't. The one on Elbaf is not the Nika fruit. It's a fruit that was meant for Harold, but Loki ate it. The other fruit is the Nika fruit, which would, in theory, Zebek would have eaten it, but he doesn't want to be Nika, so he ultimately didn't eat it. It doesn't line up with his will, but Luffy will eat it. So now, when it comes to those two fruits, who do they ultimately go to? Loki and Luffy. And King J also mentioned earlier Loki and Luffy teaming up together. We're about to see that in present-day Elbaf. Who are they going to team up against? Gunko possessed by Emu. What is the deeper context here? What is the deeper implications here? Zebek talking about these two fruits, he knows that if these two fruits work together, he could become king of the world. He could take over the world. He could take down Emu. Remember the conversation he had with Emu? Hey, I'll be back. Hey, I'll come back. I'm not ready. He needs those two fruits working together to take down Emu. But wait a second. He died. He didn't eat the fruit. Also, the other fruit didn't even go to Harold. So who has the fruits again? Loki and Luffy. But aren't the descendants, the newer guys that end up having the fruit, aren't they going to fight the same person he was threatening? The same Emu, right? Zebek was threatening Emu in regards to those very same fruits. He essentially saying these two fruits will overthrow you. Now, what do we have on Elbaf? These two fruits preparing to fight Emu. But I don't even think it'll be real full-fledged Emu. I think it's going to be like, I don't think Gunko possessed by Emu is full Emu. What do you think, chat? What do you think? L, welcome back, brother. God bless, man. God bless. We missed you, bro. Aim with the two. Thank you so much, brother. God bless. I think the royal devil fruit may be based on the Norse god Heimdall and will be tied to the heaven realm. I've never heard of that. God bless you, Aim. Let me look that up. Hey, King J, do we still believe that Loki's fruit's going to be either Jormungandr or Nidhogg? Is that what we're believing? Loki's fruit will be either Jormungandr or Nidhogg. Light work. God bless, bro. Aim, let me check out Heimdall. I have no idea what this is. Norse mythology, Heimdall, Old Northern, is a god. He's the son of Odin, 9 sisters. Heimdall keeps watch of the invaders on the onset of Ragnarok from his dwelling with a burning rainbow bridge. Oh, rainbow bridge. We saw that. Meets the sky. He is attested possessing foreknowledge and keen senses, oversight and hearing. Manners. Heimdall, golden toothed. That reminds me of like Golden Mouth, John Chrysostom. The head is called the sword. He is the whitest of the gods. Okay, so what is he? Like a dragon or something? It's like a human. The stanza has led to various scholarly interpretations. The holy races, which have been considered variously as either humanity or the gods. Okay, this is quite a lot. Are you able to give me like a TLDR? Shout out to AIM. Thank you very much. Thank you, Young King. God bless God Rally. Loki got the stretch paramecia. I'll write out my theory. Yo, go for it, bro. Shout out to Analytic. Oh, that's cool. You put like IQ in analytic material or analytic media. Why couldn't Zebek eat 2 fruits if Blackbeard could? Harold could have gotten closer to his goals of he did the opposite of everything he did. Well, I think Zebek is, or not Zebek. I think Blackbeard came to a conclusion, allowing him to eat that 2 devil fruits that nobody else in the One Piece world has came across, or at least if they have came across it, it's very unknown. I always like to point this out. After Marineford, the Gorosei are talking amongst themselves. Okay? There's no Akainu there. There's no Aokiji there. There's no Sengoku there. There's no Holy Knights. It's the Gorosei talking amongst themselves. You know what's so interesting about that conversation? The Gorosei amongst themselves, alone in isolation, only the Gorosei, what do they say? They explicitly said that Blackbeard was the first person in history to have 2 devil fruits. So if Blackbeard wasn't the first person, I find it very strange that they would say that. They're either like lying to each other or they don't know about it. So regardless, I think the idea of having 2 or, more than 1 devil fruit, right? Having multiple fruits, I think that's something completely unprecedented. Most likely it's the case that Zebek, 1, didn't even fathom that could happen, and 2, never sat there and made a plan about eating 2 devil fruits. Because you need to destroy the world as it is and make a new one metaphorically to liberate everyone. Yeah, that's actually another cool way of looking at it. Karu, God bless. Welcome back, man. This is AIM. That's weird. They used my handle on Streamlabs. Did they? Oh, yeah, they did. That's crazy. How to use your old one. Check DMs. All right, thanks, bro. All right, chat. Technically, we've been live for 2 hours. I keep yawning. To liberate Nami, Luffy destroyed Arlong Park. To liberate Rebecca and Tantata, Luffy destroyed Dressrosa. Fishmen are yet to be liberated from racism. Fishman Island is predicted to be destroyed by Luffy. Onigashima is destroyed and is underwater. Luffy also always destroys the building that symbolizes oppression. I think Loki is right. Luffy has to destroy the world as it is to liberate everyone. It's a metaphorical statement because the system has to be destroyed. That's why Nika is a liberator that destroys the world. Shout out to King J. Phenomenal. I think this final depiction of Luffy liberating the world is destroying Marijoa. I think Marijoa, especially the empty throne, is the symbol that that stands in the place of oppression, systematic cleansing, propaganda, world tyranny. if Luffy's gonna liberate the world, who's he liberating it from? Emu. Oh, what? Blackbeard, he could take out Emu. Blackbeard's gonna take down Emu. No. Who's running the One Piece world right now, though? Who's running the One Piece world? It's not Blackbeard. Emu's running the One Piece world. Better yet, who has been running the One Piece world for 800, 900 years? Oh, that's right, Emu. I think Luffy, the symbol of oppression, the symbol of suffering of the entire One Piece planet is Marijoa, and even more specifically, the Empty Throne. One Piece should conclude with Luffy liberating the world. It's Luffy, the return of Joy Boy, the prophetic figure. The return of Joy Boy Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, Sangad Nika. He liberates the whole world. He saves the world. And in the process, destroys the symbol of oppression. He destroys the shackles. What are the shackles? It's Marijoa. The Holy Land. The wannabe Holy Land that was formed in the 1900s. And they tell you, no, when you read the poneglyphs, actually Marijoa, look, in the look, dude, in the poneglyphs, it says Marijoa there. Blackbeard gonna pull a Sasuke after Kaguya got defeated. What happened after that? Blackbeard gonna pull a Sasuke? Nah, bro, that's his coat. I think Blackbeard 100% looking for the Nika fruit. He went to Drum Island thinking he was a Chopper's fruit. Also, the real world is underwater. What we have above is a fake version. Yeah, it's the propagandized version. Would the timeline allow Blackbeard's mom to do the immortal surgery on Blackbeard? We know that Daz Bones, that's his name, right? Or Daz Barrel, whatever the dude's name is. He had the fruit like 14 years ago. How long ago was that? That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head, but King J will probably know. Shout out to King J. Shout out to Avigna. Luffy will borrow Ragnir from Loki and smash the throne with Iron and Lightning. Dude, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing Luffy use a weapon, but you know, that'd definitely be a little new. If anything, Luffy's gonna make a weapon, you know, with his hair now. Finally, I've been trying to make YouTube work for over 30 minutes. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. As you know, we had one stream before this, an hour long. This second stream has already been over an hour long. I'm already a little tired, chat. We're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. I'm sorry. We're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. I want to thank everyone for being here. God bless each and every one of you. Love you guys greatly. I mentioned this earlier, chat. I'm going to mention it again because I don't think a lot of you guys are here. I'm going to just keep this short and sweet, guys. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm not forcing anyone to donate. I'll never hold you guys hostage. I'll never guilt trip you guys. You guys donating is you going above and beyond. You guys don't have to donate super chat memberships, stream elements. You guys don't have to do anything. I love you guys tremendously either way. Nowadays, it's hard for me to find time and energy to do the One Piece content. A better incentive for me to be more consistent and do this properly would be the donations, right? To keep me going. But I have a lot of things on my plate. I'm trying to get a home. I'm trying to build my family. So I want to make sure that my endeavors are well invested, right? Good investments. So with the YouTube stuff, it takes out a lot of my time, even now. So yeah, if you guys want to incentivize for me to be more consistent and actually do content and stuff like that, the stream elements, the donations help a lot. But regardless, that is optional, 110% optional. Nobody here has to do anything. Love you guys regardless. Hopefully that just kind of clears up any kind of questions, because you guys always ask, like, what do you do for work? How do you make money? Like things like that. YouTube's not my main thing, right? So, you know, especially nowadays, like I don't feel the same way about One Piece as I did like years ago, you know? So crazy, I slept through you talking the whole time. Yo, Eric, one, thank you for being here. God bless. Two, how do you sleep while listening to me? I don't, this is not ASMR, bro. I'm not whispering in your ear, dude. How are you sleeping while listening to this, huh? Loki needs to go to Heaven Realm and kill the 4 elders of Elbaf. The 4 elders of Elbaf, yeah, the elitists, the racists. No, Blackbeard didn't have the surgery. He grew up. Whitebeard found him as a kid. He's still aged. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I do wonder, like, how exactly are the mechanics working for the immortal surgery? Because they technically call it eternal youth, right? So, like, you're eternally young. Well, if you ate it while you were 2 months, or if you had the surgery done on you when you were 2 months old, does that mean you're never going to grow past the age of 2, like mentally and physically? Or do you grow to be like the body type of like a 30-year-old, then it pauses? Like, what are the intricacies of it? What's good, Clips Family Guy? When are you posting new videos? I watch you even before your previous channel got terminated. Bro, I have a few like chopped up like moments from streams that I can post as videos from Viswa. God bless it, Viswa. I just haven't gotten around to posting them. Maybe I could start working on that. We have like he segmented like he took like a bunch of segments from my streams and chopped them up so that they could become individual videos. I have to get around to posting them. Because, you know, you guys might forget things I've said on streams. You guys might have missed those streams. So I think it's like a really good idea, you know, like me having all these streams, we take out very important moments. Like if I'm explaining a full theory, if something pops in my head and we discuss it and all that, we take that whole segment of the topic and we chop it up, clean it up. So then it's like a 8-minute video, 5-10 minute video. It's perpetual youth. He's not young. He looks aged. Again, at what point do we say that the aging is paused? I think it's just a complete guess. I mean, look at Garp. Bro's like 90 and he's still like very strong, very powerful. So what is youth in One Piece? I guess you could use characters like Sugar as maybe like a standard of youth or like age pausing, you know, because she seems to have stopped aging. But I don't know, like we just don't have the intricacies. We can only guess and be like, well, in my opinion, youth is like 12 years old and younger. Someone could say like, well, someone could be young when they're like 30. Someone could be young when they're 40. I mean, look at people that are 100 years old. Tesla coin channel. No, bro, I don't even want to think about that. All right, chat, we're going to wrap this up here. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, everybody. We'll be back with the long summary, hopefully. Cross our fingers. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Chat, you guys know when we go very late on the spoilers or if we miss a stream, that's because the spoilers are dropped and the chapters are dropped at the worst possible time. And by the time I can stream, it's already been like a full day of you guys already discussing whatever it was that dropped, whether it's spoilers or chapters. It's just been really bad. I greatly appreciate every one of you. Take care of yourselves, chat. Read some books, guys. I want you guys to become very smart, intelligent people, critical thinking skills. I want you guys to excel and win and succeed at everything in life. Read, chat, guys. Build your knowledge. Find something you're really interested in and just read, learn, grow, excel. I want you guys to be the number one. I want you guys to be number one, all right? Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Continue to support me. I'll always be there for you guys. Keep me in your prayers. I'll be praying for you guys as well. Take care, everybody. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen.